What's up, guys? It's TJ with another video, and today I wanted to make a video for you guys. A lot of you guys were asking about TradingView. How do I look at the Bitcoin price? How do I chart stuff out? How do I know where the price is going to go? So really wanted to throw in a quick video together with really like 10 to 15 different tips and tricks, kind of rapid fire style, so you guys can really see all the little things that I've figured out over the years and really just overall a better experience with TradingView. All right, cool. So let's just dive right in. So, we're TradingView.com, right? You click on charts at the top and go ahead and create you a free account. I do have the pro version. I think it's like $15 a month. So I have a few more perks that I can do. So yeah, let's dive right in. So we're looking at Bitcoin, right? If you're new to TradingView, this top, these words right here in the top corner, it's going to show you what coin you're looking at. So we're looking at Bitcoin, the USD pair. We're on the 4-hour time frame right now, and this shows you the exchange that we're looking at. So we're looking at the Coinbase exchange. All right, so some tips and tricks. So a lot of times I'm trying to zoom in and kind of see what's happening, right? So you have your price right here on the side. I'm going to hide this for a second. So you can stretch this up and down, right? And that's going to get a kind of zoom in. You can do the same thing on the dates, on the bottom here, right? So a lot of times I find myself trying to see a little better, and I'm like zooming in, and then you can click and drag over, right? So that's one thing. And then you always find yourself where you're in like this weird spot, or like maybe you click something and you like lost the chart. One thing that you can do, a tip that I end up using all the time, is you double click right here on the price, and that's going to center it, and then you double click on the date, and that's going to center this. So that's something I use all the time, especially if you're trying to go back to a certain day, and then something changes, and you have to kind of get back everything centered. So that's a really good trick. Also, just thought of this one, while you're say you're back here looking at a date, there's this little arrow that pops up. So you can click that, and that takes you right back to current price action. All right, cool. So one thing I see a lot of people, Pitboy, I don't know if you guys watch Pitboy Crypto, he kills me when he's trying to draw lines or something. He'll have the marker out, and he thinks he's done, and then he'll go to click something, and he keeps drawing. So one thing you guys can do, you can see this is highlighted in blue right here. So whenever you write, so if I just keep clicking, left click, it's going to keep drawing, right? If I right click, watch this. This is highlighted in blue. When I right click, that's going to unhighlight, automatically cancels. So now when I'm clicking, I'm not drawing anymore, right? So I'm going to Command Z or Control Z to undo those. But that's just a quick way. If you're drawing something real fast, just right click, and then boom, you're right back to not drawing anymore. So it cancels out the tool that you were using. So that's a really cool one. One thing that you're doing, one thing I do a lot, if I'm making some horizontal support and resistance lines, right? So I'm gonna be making a few of these. I check this right here where it's stay in drawing mode. So basically, if this is not on, so I'm gonna make a line right here, right? When I click that, it makes this line, and now the tool is not highlighted anymore. So now in order to make another line, I have to go back, click it again, just to make another line, right? Whereas if let me take that line off. If I click stay in drawing mode, I can just click this once, and then now I can make as many lines as I want. And then whenever I'm done, I'll just right click, and that cancels out that tool. So that comes in handy a lot. One thing that's super frustrating for me is a lot of times, if I'm on the go or doing something with a fan, I'm looking at this on my phone, right? So say I got a fib pulled, and I'm watching kind of the price action, right? If I'm on my phone, a lot of times when I'm trying to move the screen around, on the phone it's a lot smaller screen, right? So maybe I'm only looking right here. Whenever I'm clicking to move the screen around, this is what ends up happening. My lines or any of my drawings, they end up getting moved around, right? So what you can do is I can click on this, right? So you can tell that I'm clicked on it because it has the circles right here. and it gives me options to edit it, right? Right here, I can click this lock button, and that locks that tool. So even if I click on the line that should move it, it's just going to move my chart. It's not going to let me edit that until I unlock it again. So that comes in handy a lot. If you have a lot of lines on your chart, a quick and easy way to do this is just by clicking lock all drawings right here. And that saves a world of headache, especially if you're doing this from your phone. Let's see. What else do we got? Let me pull this up. So let's right click over here and let's just go to settings. And one thing that you can do, let me find it here. Let's see. Obviously, there's tons of stuff you guys can change in here, customize it. So I'm under settings, I'm on scales, right? One thing that I like to have on is countdown to bar close. Like right here, you can see this red line is the current price. If you have this on, this is going to show you how much longer until the bar closes, right? So I know I have 52 minutes before this 4-hour candle closes, right? If I'm looking at a 15-minute chart and say we're trying to hold this line, I know, hey, I got 7 more minutes until this bar closes, right? So that comes in handy a lot, knowing how much longer you have. And it's right there. It's just a glimpse. All right, cool. So another thing I like is this little dock right here. And the way you can get this is, say you have some tools that you use a lot, like say the fib. You can star them, right? And when you star them, it's going to add them to this little bar, this little quick toolbar that you can have, move around. So that comes in handy a ton. Another thing that I like is, you can see mine has all these time frames on the top, right? So yours probably looks more like this, and there's some custom ones that I put in here. But basically, instead of having to, click on the arrow, choose the time, you can star them, and anything you star, it's just going to put right up here for you. So, it's a lot faster just to switch back and forth between the time frames, which is awesome. Also, if you have a market cipher like I do, one thing that we use a lot is the Heikin candles. So I also have that starred. You can do the same thing there. That way I can switch back and forth, and it's a lot easier. Just less clicks, right? That's what all the tips and tricks are about. Less clicks. Get me to the finish line a little bit faster. All right, sweet. Let's see what else we got. So we got alerts. So setting up an alert, say you guys can see this little plus sign right here. If there's just a specific number, you can just click on that. Say you have a specific line on your chart. Like say I have let's just say I have a resistance line right here. I can click on that line. If I right click on that, you can see add alert to horizontal line. And that's something that if you're on the free version, I don't know how many alerts you can actually set. Maybe just a couple. But yeah, this is how you set up an alert. You can have it notify you on your app. You can have it send you an email. One trick that is really important is you can click on more actions and make sure the play sound button is checked. That way you get some good loud notifications. All right, cool. There's a lot of little things in here that you can play around with. Do you want to only get that notification once? Do you want it once per minute, once per bar or candle? You can have it when it's crossing the line period. You can have it when it's crossing up above the line. You can really get a lot of different settings you can customize when it comes to that. So, all right, cool. That's alerts. Another thing. Let me go ahead and delete this fib. All right, another thing is measuring, right? If you're trying to measure a percentage of a move, there's a few different ways you can do this, but what I use oftentimes is this ruler, right? You just click on that, say we want to measure from the bottom, and what I do is a lot of times if you're following me on screen, the crosshair, what I do is you can see that from the crosshair you have the dotted line that goes, up, down, left, and right, all the way across the screen, right? So a lot of times what I'm doing is instead of, when you put the crosshair on the bottom, it kind of hides the bottom of the candle. So I just use the, to the left, that dotted line. As long as that's lined up right, that's where we're going to start from, right? So if we're measuring, say, from right here all the way to the top, then I'm going to do something like that. And boom, that was over a 10% increase, right, in price. And then it gives you the dollar amount as well that it went up by, and then also shows you how many bars or how many hours it took to get from there. Now, if you're looking at the bars or the hours, you do need to be precise. So if I'm measuring specific time, then I need to start actually on that bar, and I need to actually finish on the bar that I'm measuring to get the accurate pricing or the accurate time. But as far as just the price itself goes, if I'm just looking at price, it doesn't matter where your mouse is as long as you're stopping at the right spot. All right, cool. So that's how I measure price. A lot of times, especially if you have market cipher, maybe you're gauging the momentum waves. A lot of times I measure the distance, from maybe the last top to bottom or something like that to kind of, foresee the future, if you will. Try to, get a good guesstimation on what's going to happen. You can use those time frames. That's the other thing I use the ruler for. Hey, this took, from top to bottom was, 14 bars, so 3.5 hours. So then maybe I go over here if I'm measuring a top, and I say, okay, I'm at this top. Let me go out 3.5 hours, and boom, perfectly. So there's just some little things that I play around with. Sometimes you have so many drawings on your chart, a lot of stuff gets in the way. So for example, let me just put a few things on here. Pretend we have a bunch of support and resistance lines. Maybe you're trying to look at something and all these lines are kind of in the way. You can click right here on this eye and it hides all the drawings without deleting them. So this comes in handy sometimes when you're just trying to get a quick glance at something and maybe you don't want all the lines in the way. So that is a handy dandy tool. Get these off of here. See what else we got. We got indicators. So yeah, I'm sure you guys probably know how to put an indicator on. Of course, you click on that FX, and then you have the indicators that you can search. You can favorite them, star them so it puts them in your favorite folder. One thing that I was noticing is if you have so two things real quick. If you have a paid membership, then you can see how my screen has this blue outliner on the box. That means I'm looking at one of my screens, right? So if you hover right here, you can see that this is clicked. So I can click that, and that's going to take me back to my multi-screen window. To get into that, same thing. So you have these little squares. You just click that. That's going to make it full screen for you. But you can right-click on your chart when you have more than one chart open, and you can hit apply these indicators to the entire layout, and that will put them on multiple screens for you. All right, one thing that I see a lot of people struggling with is hiding an indicator, right? So you guys can see these are some of the indicators that I have up right now. So I have 3 on this chart. I got so you can see these lines: blue, green, yellow, gold. This red line. These are the EMAs, and then a few different things, right? Like you see these symbols from Market Cipher A. Say there's something that you're looking at and there's a whole lot of stuff going on, you just need to clear some space. You can, you have to click on, make sure this drop down is open, right? And then you can go on whichever one you want to hide and just click the eye. And that's going to hide, whatever you want to hide, right? So that can clean up your chart without having to delete an indicator and then have to add it back when you're done. That comes in handy a lot. Another thing that is really good is if you're trying to practice a new strategy, or you're trying to back test it to see how accurate you are. There's something called replay mode. So these arrows right here, you can click, and then you can go back here, however far you want to do, and you can click on it, right? And it's going to basically take you back in time to what the chart looked like at that moment. So it helps you in your strategy where when you're looking at all your indicators, hey, what would I do in this scenario? And then right here you can change the speed on how often the next bar goes. But you can hit play and you can kind of see in real time what the price is doing, right? And how your indicators were showing at the time that that this all was happening. Another thing I like is if you want to take it bar by bar, you can just click right here and this will just show you the next bar at whatever speed you want to play it at. So that comes in handy a lot, especially if you're back testing a strategy to see how successful it is. Yeah, let's see, what else? I want to say that's about it. If you have different layouts, like for me, you can save them. So new chart layout. For me, I'm just going to load one. So I'm going to load this one. It's called Old School. So this is the first way that I learned how to trade. So it's just got your, pull this up. There we go. So I've just got RSI, the MACD, and then this is another type of RSI that I was playing around with. So long story short, you can change different layouts. Instead of having to delete a bunch of indicators, add a bunch of indicators. Now, if I wanted to, I can bounce back and forth between this old school style and what I'm using now, and see if my indicators are lining up. One thing might show something a little bit differently. So that's another little tip or trick for you guys. All right, well, I think that's it, guys. If there's something I missed or something else you guys want to see, make sure you guys leave it down in the comments. Make sure you like the video. Almost all my videos come from questions that I get from friends or family, or stuff you guys leave in the comments. So make sure you drop down in the comments what you guys want to see, and I'll make sure I do my best to make a video about that and get it out to you guys. So make sure, if you're not already, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, I guess I will see you guys in the next video.